Okay, so in this lecture we'll be discussing how to format print statements. So we have discussed how to print using the print statement, but sometimes you obviously more want your the output to be formatted properly. So let's discuss first the optional argument, which is the sep parameter. Now when you print particular values, let's say you're printing values from some values from 0 to n, any number of values, you can use the sep argument by typing in sep and then the separator string. So you can type in any string over here and the output is going to be separated by that particular string. So let's look at examples. So now we're typing in hello world over here, separated by commas, and then when you give it 2 stars, you can see that it's separated by 2 stars. If you give it a space, it's going to be separated by space, and I think it's just the default value. And if you give it 2 spaces, it's going to be separated by 2 spaces. You can give it /t, right, separator, or the /n separator. So this is a very useful parameter in Python. Okay, so now let's look at how to format the output. So this is a simple program in which you're trying to print a real number. Your amount, let's say, so the amount due is 5,000. You're calculating the monthly payment by dividing the due by 12, and so you get this output. Now you can see that by default Python is gonna go to the max precision as it can. In other words, it's going to print out all the digits after the decimal place that is allowed by the precision of the machine. So then if you want to improve the output, you don't typically want your numbers to look like this when you're presenting them, right? So what you can do is first option is you can use the round function, right? But typically when you're dealing with the print statement, we'll be using the format, right, to format the number by using the print statement. So now you can see that we have typed in the string, right, and after the comma. So the way the format works is that you type in a comma and then you type in format the monthly payment, the variable name, and then comma, and then point 2f. So the 2 means that it's going to print out 2 numbers after the decimal place, and the f means that it's a float, which means a real number. Now the format, so again, the point 2 is precision, f means float, I already told you that, and this is, I'm just printing out some other number over here. And if you type in 0.1, and you can see that it's going to be rounded, it rounds the 6, right, to the next digit after the decimal, the next digit, which is 7. And then if you can also, if the number is not roundable, then it just prints out the 2 digits after the decimal place, as we have over here. Let's look at some other examples. So let's look at scientific notation. So if you have a big number and you want to write it in terms of exponential form, you type in just e over here, and Python is going to convert, or the print statement is going to convert it to exponential form. You can see that it is typing quite a few digits, not this one, but quite a few digits after the decimal place. Now if you want to change that, you can again use that format with point over here and the numbers you want after the decimal place and the form that you want. So you can see that it only prints out 2 digits after the decimal place, and it's in exponential form. Now let's look at some other, how do you print out percentages? If you want to print out percentages, you can also use the print formats method. There are other ways also, but we'll stick to the format method. You can use any formatting, any ways to format your output. I prefer the format statement. So if you type in 0.12 and you want to convert it into the into a percentage, you can see that Python converts it into a percentage. But obviously you don't want these extra zeros, so you can give it the precision 1 means that 1 digit after the decimal place. So if you have some other number 0.02, you can see that you can convert with just one decimal after the decimal after the digit. Sorry, one digit after the decimal place, and then this number is just another example. You can see that it's converted to a percentage. So you can change this number. Go ahead, try it, and you'll see that Python will. So if you convert it to 0.2, Python is going to print out 12.30 percentage. So so sometimes when you're like printing out, let's say, a salary, right, a salary statement or a payslip, you want your numbers to look presentable. We typically add commas, right? So you can do that also. If you add a comma before the decimal place, you'll see that Python is gonna add commas to your number. Okay, so you can also assign spaces. So you can see that over here, Python is just assigning default number of spaces. But sometimes you want, especially like in cases where you want to print out a table, and you want to give particular space to each column. So this is quite helpful in that. So this 12 means that it's going to assign 12 spaces for this number. So even if it doesn't fit if there's some extra spaces, Python is not going to care. It's just going to print out 12 spaces with that number adjusted to the right, as you can see over here. Now, if you are dealing with integers, you can also, so we have seen floats, we have seen exponentials, we have seen percentages, and digits and integers is the last thing we'll see today. So let's say that you want to print out in the form of integers. You can just use D, right? So that prints out the number in the form of an integer. So even if this is a floating, even if this is a float or floating number, it's going to convert it into an integer. If you want to add commas, right, there's no decimal place in this because integers don't have decimal places, but it's going to have a comma if you want to add a comma to your number. And you can also add spaces as we did in the previous case. So you can see that in this case the number is printed out over here, and then there's some extra spaces over here because you have assigned some space to the number.